Welcome back to Final Fantasy -1. Here we are just outside the Marsh Cave. I'll take a look at our equipment. That is the light sword that we picked up in the Temple of Fiends from the Mystic Key just after the previous video when we ended with all 4 characters face down on the floor. Here's a look at our equipment and our spells before we go in. The Marsh Cave is in a slightly different location than it is in the vanilla version. And there is, the layout obviously is very different. During this long back attack, I'll explain. The area to the north of the stairs in the vanilla version has a set of stairs that goes up to another floor that has just some treasures. It doesn't continue on, it's just a floor with some treasures. And then going down progresses you towards where the crown box is. In this one, there is no set of stairs to the north side. It's kind of a serpentine path up there that does not have any stairs nor any chests. There is a set of stairs going down to the east of the doorway, and I'm just exploring to the south here. I did an exploratory run of the north part of this cave before. Normally, when you do the Marsh Cave in a vanilla version, and you're crawling it, you'll take the stairs up to the north, explore that, get those treasures, come back out, save, heal, recover, sell, buy more pure potions because everybody's been poisoned and it's cost you like 1,000 gold in pure potions just to get through that first part. Then you can go back in and try the second part. Maybe you've been lucky and picked up a level. So nothing in here, just a sad, empty room. So now we're on to the steps in the east part of this wing. There are quite a few back-attacking enemies in here, and many of them have the status attack stun. So I do have the Wake spell, which can help me to get out of those, but I'm going to try to conserve my spell charges as much as I can, because I'm not quite sure what we're going to be experiencing down here in the lower levels of the Marsh Cave. Here are some squires. These squires are very interesting. They have the bad man, evil man kind of sprite design to them. I'm going to attempt to run from them in the first round, and no running so far in this first round. They're not hitting me all that hard. I'm going to try to run one more time, and oh, sorry, looks like we're just going on to hit them with what we can. I'm going to see what we can do with some fighting here, and we'll see how tough they really are. So I can see 2 hits, 58 damage, enough to take one down. Obviously, that one is way more than enough to take one down. I don't have to bunch my attacks up on them. I could have probably just done one in each, and my Black Mage may have even been able to take one out with the critical hit, because the Black Mage with that Mage Knife is really chopping through some stuff. So I'm glad that I did things in the order that I did them. Because I feel much better prepared for the Marsh Cave having a lot of those Mystic Key treasures with me. Sadly, in the vanilla version of this game, you do not get that luxury, is that you can't get the Mystic Key before you attempt to come down here to get the crown. That's what's a huge difficulty spike in the vanilla version. But in this one, I could fight Astos, get the key, get all the other items from the Mystic Key doors before tackling this area here. So I've got all of the better armor that I can pick up. I have obviously more money and more spells. I've already gone on to Melmond to buy the level 4 magic. That's a change from the vanilla version, by the way, is that Melmond normally has the level 5 spells, and the Elfland town has level 3 and level 4. In this version, Elfland only has level 3 black and white magic, and the weapon shop and armor shop with the next step up. So they don't have as much to do. There is one thing that we did not check on this video that I regret that I didn't record before, and that is the gravestone in Elfland says, "Here lies Cloud." Instead of "Here lies Erdrick," it is "Here lies Cloud," and it gives the years that Cloud lived, 833 to whatever. So that's always something to check, is those gravestones, to see. When you get into a patch, it's a fairly common thing to change what those gravestones say to a reference. Sometimes it's a reference to a real person who worked on the game. This battle here with these ghouls is turning into a real mess, a real sloppy mess, because we have not been able to run. There were 6 ghouls. There were chains stunning us. Now we are fully chain stunned. Thankfully, Bill was able to recover from the stun right there. And now I'm having Bill attack, but remember, the slashing type weapons seem to just do 1 damage to undead here in this one. So I need a hammer wielding character to get a turn. But sadly, my Viking has been stunned since the beginning of this fight. And so I'm just going to try to run with my ninja. I did use the harm spell, and thankfully the harm spell cleared out a lot of enemies So we're not taking 6 hits per turn, just 2. And there, we finally got away. So I did burn a harm spell for a battle that we ended up losing, but happy to do that. And here we go again. Another back attack. Ghoul. Paralyze on the Paladin. Paralyze on the Viking. And we're going to try to run away, because these are escapable fights, of course. You can run away from them, but your characters need to get turns to run away, and the ghouls can really, really get you on the chain stun. So there we go. We're out of that room at least, and here we are into another battle, this time with shadows. And this is what makes the Marsh Cave so hard and such a tough grind in this part of the game. It doesn't quite have the one-hit kills that the Ice Cave does later on, but it almost seems worse when you're in the middle of it. It almost seems worse because the encounter rate seems high. I would guess the encounter rate is probably the same as most dungeon areas, but it seems high, and it's like every fight has enemies that can stun you or poison you or do nasty things. So here's another back attack. There also, it seems like there's lots of enemies with high back attack rates here. And I believe the ghouls' back attack rates, just from observation, it seems like the ghoul-type enemies' back attack rate has been bumped up for this version of the game, because I'm seeing lots of those ghoul groups, and more often than not, I am getting back attacks from the ghoul-type groups. Now, the shadows, that's a change the other way. The shadows normally are back attacks almost every time you see them. In this one, I'm getting a lot of preemptives on the shadow enemies. So I don't know if that's been reversed, or if all of these could be statistical anomalies that I'm just observing in a small sample size. But the more it happens, the more confident I get. So I already have a Kenpo Gi on my ninja. So that'll just be for selling when we're all done. And I'm working very thoroughly here because I do want to see all the rooms. I want to see all the items that we can pick up in here. We're going to get away from the Raven. The bird-type enemies are hard to hit with physical attacks. Although now that I'm getting multiple attacks for all my characters, it probably won't be too hard. The broadsword is definitely a step down. I'm just going to double check what the differences are. We'll look at the light sword stats anyway. 35 damage, 50 on the hit percent, so he'll get 2 hits with an effectivity of 35. And here we have 27 and 34. So again, 2 hits for 27, and the light, I believe, has a type, but I'm not sure. It has an element type or a weapon type that will do more damage to certain kinds of monsters. So, like, I don't know if those light swords have maybe a boost on undead type enemies. I'm not sure. Here, again, I'm making use of the, not the Protect spell, Bill, but the Pure spell. It only costs 200, which is the cost in this game, in this patch, of just 2 Pure potions. And it takes up a slot in the second level, but it's not quite as valuable on the ninja. The ninja can learn the time element spells, so there's 2 black spells and 2 white spells the ninja can learn. And it's one of the more useful ones at that spell level. So here I just got tired of getting everybody stunned, and in the back attack right there we had 3 characters get stunned, leaving just my black mage around without massive health. So I decided with the black mage we're just going to burn a Fire 2 spell here just to clear the board and get rid of this battle. I could have attempted to run, but having the run fail would have meant more and more rounds of this, so I decided just to go ahead and torch the enemies and finish this battle up. So here is, of course, a reference to where you're going to fight the wizard-type enemies. They are the, Mind Flayer guys that are pretty obvious on that. I'm using the Cure spells from my Paladin first before we dip into our potion supply, and I am going to boost myself up a little bit with the potions. I have 2 charges left of Bolt 2 for these enemies, and so here we go. Let's see what kind of roll we get. And it is a lucky roll. It's a good roll. So in the vanilla version, it's 2 to 4 wizards in this battle. Here comes a Bolt 2. And so right there I can see, oh yeah, those extra levels are really helping us out a lot. Being level 9 and 10 in here is a big help for us, because the physical damage is actually enough to take the wizards out in 1 hit, or the Pisco demons out in 1 hit. So that's nice. Now this chest is empty. My thoughts are this. That is a linked chest to the chest in the Temple of Fiends. So the Temple of Fiends is where I found the TNT in the beginning of the game. Here is a much more advanced battle from later in the game. So this is the Mystic Key locked door down here when I did a exploratory battle down here before. So we've got 6 squids and then 2 of the clay golems. So this is going to be a tough battle for us. We're going to try some stuff here and see how well we survive. I realized after this battle I made a very gross tactical error here using those 4th level spells. I should have just used Bolt again to go after those squids and hit into their weakness, but I did not go for that. So you can see Bio, they are resisting it because its base is 50, by the way. So when we see it doing that low, that means that they are resisting it and it's getting the damage cut. So there was a wasted level 4 charge. So this game has what's called linked chests, where there will be the same item that you can access from one of 2 chests. And once you've collected the item from one chest, it disappears from the other chest. Kind of famously in the vanilla version, there's the heal staff is in 2 chests. One of them is guarded and one of them is not. So if you know which one is not guarded, you can skip fighting a protected chest battle to pick up the heal staff. And maybe the Thor hammer is the same way, but there's some other one-of-a-kind items that are in linked chests. So my guess is that if you're playing this game through casually and you go down into the Marsh Cave, that's where you find the TNT. I'm guessing that that's where you would find the TNT. I somehow stumbled into it in the secret area of the Temple of Fiends, and so I already had it, and I've already picked it up and I've already used it, as you saw in the last video. So this crawl of the Marsh Cave so far has been unnecessary. It's been a frivolous exercise. So it's very curious that the designer of this put a key item in a semi-secret area, and that looks like maybe an optional area so far. I'm going to come back to that area after I beat the Earth Cave and see if anything happens to the Earth icon. But this tells me maybe I should also check that chest that the TNT was in. Maybe something else happens with that chest, or maybe it just stays empty forever. Maybe that's just a thing about this one. So anyway, we do win this battle. And I realized that I should have definitely used a Bolt 2 charge instead of all my higher level spell charges right here. But here we are at level 10, leveling up in the bottom. And there is the Tempest Katana. And so that is a nice ninja weapon that I'm going to pick up. And it looks like it's supposed to be for a little bit later in the game, because looking at his stats, 29 damage, 90 hit percent. Versus what he had before, which was 74. So that puts him up almost to another hit. When he gets to 96, I believe, he'll get another hit percent. So it's 5 more damage and then a big boost to that. So another couple of levels and the ninja should be getting another hit. So it should be up to 4 hits pretty soon. So that'll be really nice for the ninja to have 4 hits. And the Tempest Katana, I'm guessing has a type. I'm guessing it has the air type, so the same elemental type as Arrow does. The Kotetsu knife, I don't know if it had a type or not, but I'm just going to guess by the name. The Tempest Katana in a lot of Final Fantasy games has an air element type, and in some Final Fantasy games it even will trigger a wind slash type attack. In Final Fantasy V, there's a katana that triggers a wind slash type attack. That I'm guessing this is a reference to. There's a Tempest Katanas pop up a little bit in Final Fantasy games. So that's a cool nod to other parts of the series. So now my ninja is really packing some powerful stuff, which is great. And we're getting out of the scum battle. So I believe all of these doors were Mystic Key locked. When I did an exploratory look at this dungeon before, I only checked one of the doors down here just to see if there were still some Mystic Key doors in here. And my Paladin is completely out of charges for everything, and so I'm thinking back on it now, I'm probably going to buy just more potions, and instead of using the Paladin's Cure ability, I will probably just save my Harm 1 charges for some of those undead battles in the future. Here's another protected square, and it's just 2 Pisco Demons. So not a big deal. My players are doing pretty good physical damage with everything. I'm going to have my Black Mage just try a Bolt 1 on this top one, but we'll see. Not really necessary because 3 hits, 170. That is the Tempest Katana doing solid damage to the Pisco Demon. So the bolt was totally wasted there. So we're just going to let him have it with everything we've got. So the light sword not doing a lot of damage right there. The light sword is not getting through, so this Pisco Demon must have another resistance to that kind of weapon. So I'm still learning the rules of how that works. But here's a coral sword. Coral sword, I'm gonna check the numbers of it, just the straight up stats of it versus my light sword. We have 35 and 52. 35 and 52. Looking ahead, this is 43 and 44. Now, it's a lower hit percent, but more damage per hit. And it does not actually make me cross a hit threshold level. Those happen at every 32 hit percents you get another hit. So I don't know if I've covered that in this game. Every time you pass a multiple of 32 with your hit percent, you get another slash every time you attack. So you never want to equip a weapon that puts you down a hit. And you always want to try to get extra hits. But usually if your hit percent goes down but not enough to bring you down another hit level, I will go for a little more damage. But I'll take the number of hits over damage every single day. So here's going to be another protected chest. I'm just guessing. So we are making sure we have some spell charges. I'm thinking about what I can do here with my guys without the big high level stuff. But it turns out not needed because the Pisco Demons are just hanging out. So these guys should be one-hit kills for most of my fighters. I'm having the fighter gang up on that other one because I'm not thinking about the coral sword and its possible properties. But look at what we have here. 2 hits, 285 damage. Obviously, coral sword with the lightning element, really effective. And there is 3 hits for almost 500 damage from my black mage on the Pisco Demon. And so I don't know what the weapon type is of the mage knife, but it seems to be there's another 3 hits for 322 damage, but it seems to be at least one of the types of that weapon is the lightning elemental because it is massively crushing those Pisco Demons. And that's something that I just did not know without looking at a table or looking at a guide for that. I had to discover that by myself. So that was a nice surprise to see that pop up, but wowee, that was something. And so the Earth Clothes are they're going to be a slight improvement for the ninja. A little bit more absorb, but a little bit less evade. So 17 and 94 is where we are right now. So every hit will have 17 subtracted from it. That's the Kenpo. 17 and 94 versus 25 and 92. So lost 2 of 8% points, but picked up 7, I think, or 8. I think it went to 24, 25. I missed it there. But so we picked up more damage reduction. And that's per hit, by the way. So if an enemy has 2 hits, then it gets subtracted out of each hit, the absorb does. So that absorb really, really works nicely. If you can get some more absorb, it helps you survive a lot better. So that's all the rooms down here in this Marsh Cave, and we're just going to be on our way out from the Marsh Cave. So in the next video, we're going to be exploring the Earth Cave. That's the next place you are in the vanilla version of this game. I'm going to see what the designers have done with the vampire problem or the vampire issue in this particular patch. They may have taken the vampire and the titan and the ruby all the way out. I don't know if you need to go still find the sage to get the rod and all that stuff. I have no idea what we're expecting right there, so we're all going to discover it together as we're making our way out of the Marsh Cave here. Do hit me up on the comment section if you have a question about this. I will try to answer it as best I can. I'll try to look at something if we want to look at that. I like these LPs of ROM hacks to be something that you can explore this game without putting the time in to play yourself, or maybe it will help you decide if you want to play this patch of the game. So hit me up in the comments, hit me up on Twitter where I am also active_ATE, and we will see you next time for the Earth Cave.